Hello everyone, welcome to a new session of Towards a Better English, one of the foundation courses offered by Christ College Autonomous Irnyalakuda. Myself Priya V B, Assistant Professor, PG Department of English. Today, we are going to discuss about what is a biodata, resume and CV, and how to write a professional resume. Okay, let me ask some question first. What do you mean by biodata? What is a resume? And what is a CV? Is there any differences between biodata, CV and resume? Yes. Biodata. It is an abbreviation for the term biographical data. As a document format, it's typically one of the 3 pages long and is used to apply for employment. Then, curriculum vitae, commonly abbreviated to CV. It is a Latin term that translates as the course of one's life. It is a summary of your academic and work history. A well-formatted CV could dramatically improve an individual's chance to successfully obtain a desirable position. And resume. Resume is a formal document that provides an overview of your professional qualifications, including your relevant work experience, skill, education, and notable accomplishments. Usually paired with a cover letter. A resume helps you demonstrate your abilities and convince employers you are qualified and hireable. The spelling of resume actually originates from French and it means summary. Okay? And the purpose of resume, it is to provide employees with a summary of your relevant qualification. While a CV, biodata and resume are roughly equivalent documents, there are important differences in its usage and content. Biodata, the short form of biographical data, and it emphasizes on personal particulars like date of birth, sex, nationality, marital status, and so on. It has a specific format, whereas resume is an advertising tool and it is for selling oneself as the most qualified candidate. It is typically used in business and there is no specific format for a resume. The most basic difference between CV and resume is in its length. A CV is used primarily when applying for fellowships and grants and it is static. Then, employers, they use resumes throughout the hiring process to learn more about applicants and whether they might be a good fit. Your resume should be easy to read, summarize your accomplishments and skills, and highlight relevant experience. If you are applying for a job, you need at least a resume to be considered for the position. On a base level, a resume is made up of some parts. There are 5 parts. The first one is contact details, then introduction. The next one is educational background, then work history, then relevant skills. Many job seekers assume that the purpose of a resume is to provide a full overview of their professional history. Instead, the goal of your resume is to convince employers you are worth interviewing. To that end, your resume is a valuable tool you can use to highlight your experience to prospective employers. Then, if your resume provides a concise summary of your relevant qualifications and skills in a format that makes your ability to handle the work as clear as possible, and you will get more interviews too. So, at a minimum, your resume should include some sections. We have already discussed. The first one is contact details. It includes your first and last name, then your phone number and email address. Additionally, you can add your LinkedIn profile if yours is up to date and your mailing address if you want to prove you live near the place you are applying. The next one is introduction, a concise overview of your professional background and key qualifications. Your introduction can be in the form of a resume summary, professional profile, and resume objective or qualifications summary. Then education. Include your school names, highest degree earned, and major and minors. And additionally, you can add your GPA if it is greater than 3.8 and other relevant coursework if you lack experience or it's related to the position. Then you can include experience. List any relevant work experience you have. Include your title, the company you worked for, years worked, and a bulleted list of your key responsibilities and notable successes. And be sure to also include as many relevant accomplishments on your resume as possible. Then you can include skills. It includes any resume skills you possess that are relevant to the position. Be sure to use a strong mix of hard skills and at the same time soft skill to demonstrate that you are a well-rounded candidate. There are other three most commonly used resume formats in 2021. Chronological, that means reverse chronological. Then functional, the other one is combination or hybrid. So these are the three different kinds of resumes that we are using in 2021. Chronological, functional, and combination. Chronological, that is a standard resume format. It includes contact information, that means first and last name, email address, phone number, address, LinkedIn ID. Then it includes resume introduction. Then work or relevant experiences, that means most recent job title. You can include it in a bulleted list of your accomplishment. And make sure you quantify these bullet points. And you can include earlier job title, that means relevant accomplishment from an earlier job. If you no longer hold this job, you make sure you use past tense verb to describe your experience. It's very important. That is, you have to use past tense verbs to describe your experiences for an earlier job. Okay. Then you can, of course, you can include education. That means degree name. Then you can include SSLC like that. That is in a chronological order. Then skill and certifications. That means list your relevant skills and certifications. Include a range of hard skills and at the same time soft skills. And be as specific as possible. Mention the actual names of software or tools you are able to use. Then you can include additional resume section, that is, you can add any other relevant information. For example, anything that is a publications, languages that you know, volunteer experiences or relevant hobbies and all. So the chronological resume format is what the majority of people use to create their own resume. Then chronological resumes begin with your contact details and resume introduction, but then immediately it moves into your most recent works experience. Because the hiring managers, they care a lot about your work experience. And featuring this information near the top helps them to evaluate your applications very quickly. So you have to write your resume in a chronological order. Then the importance of professional experience for most jobs is why the chronological resume format is used by so many people. That means, however, depending on your background and at the same time job experience, you may want to choose a different layout for your resume. Then there are some things you have to use in a chronological resume. You just think whenever you are writing a chronological resume. I want to demonstrate vertical career progression. I want to apply to a job in a similar field. I don't have large work experience gaps. So, whenever you are writing a chronological resume, you have to know the format of this chronological resume. Then you should not use a chronological format if you have multiple gaps in your employment history and you are considering working in a new industry and you frequently change jobs. If you have these hobbies, you should not use a chronological format. Okay. Then what to include in a curriculum vitae? The elements that you include will help on what you are applying for. So be sure to incorporate the most relevant information to support your candidacy in your resume. Then another type of resume is functional resume. So it focuses on your relevant job skills. That means unlike chronological resume, the functional format ignores when and where you learn your skills. Instead of focusing on your work history, functional resumes are used to list your strongest resume skills at the top. That is, the strongest resume skills you have to include in the functional resume. And in a functional resume, that include work experience, that in a bulleted form. Okay, then you only need to write your company name, location and job title for the previous position you held. Because functional resumes focus on your skills. That is very important. Okay, functional resume focus on your skills. And this is the ideal format if you have any job related hard skills and soft skills. And which are the things you have to include in a functional resume and you should not include in a functional resume. The first thing is you should use functional resume format if you have unusually large gaps in employment in history. And you can use to promote a specific skill set. Then you don't use functional resume if you want to highlight your upward career mobility. And if you lack relevant or transferable skills, you don't use functional resume. Here you can see a format of how to write a functional resume. The other thing is combination. A combination resume is a blend. It's of a chronological and, yes, of course, the functional resume format. That is why we named it as combination. And it lead with a core skill section and with a detailed work experience section. And a combination resume seems like a lot of information to include. That is the point. Then combination resumes are best if you have many skills and long career using those skills. Okay, then what are the things you can include in a combination resume? You want to showcase a relevant and well developed skill set, of course you can use the combination resume. Then if you want to transfer to different industry, you can use it. Then if you have zero work experience, you don't write a combination resume. Then if you want to emphasize your educational background, you don't want to use a combination resume. Then if you lack the relevant qualifications and skills set for a role, you don't use it. Here you can see another example of a combination resume. So when applying for certain positions in the US, United States, as well as jobs internationally, you may be required to submit a curriculum vitae rather than a resume. So curriculum vitae or CV, it includes more information than your typical resume, including details of your education, academic achievements, research, publications, awards, affiliation and more. Then what is a CV? Yes. A curriculum vitae provides a summary of your experience, academic background, including teaching experience, degrees, research, awards, publications, presentations, and other achievements, skills, and credentials. CVs are typically used for academic, medical, research, and scientific applications. Then, in education and qualification parts, you can describe your qualification, the dates you received your qualification. Then you can include what grades or class or marks you achieved, and the names of your institution, and at the same time the special certifications, licenses, additional vocational trainings. All these things you can include. And whenever you are writing a personal details and contact information, most CVs that start with contact information and at the same time personal data. But you have to avoid some details like religious affiliation, children's name, and so on. And education qualification, be sure to include the names of institution and dates attended in reverse order. That means PhD, master's degree like that. And work experience or employment history. The most widely accepted style of employment record is the chronological curriculum vitae. Your career history is presented in reverse date order, starting with most recent appointment. Please note, most recent appointment you have to start first. Then more emphasis information should be placed on your most recent jobs. Then skills. It includes computer skills, foreign language skills, and any other recent training that is relevant to the role applied for. Training, dissertation, research experience, teaching experience, publication, then presentation, grants, awards, technical or computer and language skills, professional licenses, certifications, and memberships. Then curriculum vitae writing tips. Keep it concise. That is a tip. Whenever you are writing a curriculum vitae, you keep it concise. Tell the truth. That is the next important tip. Most employees conduct references and background checks, and if your curriculum vitae does not match your actual work history or education, you will mostly get caught at some point. So tell the truth only. Then whenever you are submitting a curriculum vitae, check the format. Okay. Then proof your curriculum vitae. That is, double check your curriculum vitae for types and grammatical errors and all. Then whenever you are writing a curriculum vitae, you please choose a appropriate format. Then make sure you choose a curriculum vitae format that is very much appropriate for the position you are applying for. Okay. Then the same thing, the components of CV that is commonly used in India, that is personal details, professional profile, objectives, education qualification, then career history, key skills, achievements, interest and activities, then reference. Here you can see one example for that. So that is about resumes and CV. Then we'll check how to write a memo. Memo. It's a short form for memorandum. It is normally used for communicating policies, procedures, or related official business within an organization. What is the purpose of it? Yes, of course, it is to inform others about a new or changed policy or procedures, organizational details. But it occasionally includes an element of persuasion. Okay. Then how to use memo? To announce meetings or events, and to present decision, and to transmit documents. Then there is a format of memo. Company and or department name you have to include, and you have to include an heading, then from address, that is who sent it and all, and subject, date, and the body section and introduction, main points, and you have to close. Then there is a style of memo. You have to write in a very concise form. That is, make your sentences, paragraph, and overall memo as brief and as focused as possible. Then be clear. That is, get your purpose straight before you start. Then you have to be direct. Speak directly to your reader. Then clean. That means reread, revise, copy, edit, and proofread. Then memo structure, subject line. That summarizes the main ideas. And give your purpose of writing. Supply any relevant background information. Identify any task the memo is related to. Then body section conveys the information and supporting details relevant to the memo's purpose. Then close, that is the end. You can state any expected outcome, action, or other information that is appropriate to your purpose. Then we can see an example. Please send me your comments and suggestions by January 16. Let's meet next week to go over the next stage in the plan. So you can use very short forms while writing a memo. Then another example, dear student, just try to make your own resume like that. So dear students, just try to make your own resume professionally. So we'll meet in the next session with a new topic. So thank you so much, and follow our channel for more sessions on business writing. Thank you so much.